Hey y'all, what's up? Oh, there are people already in here. Am I late? I feel like I'm late. How many people we got in here? I need to check this out. Um, I see it. There's 10. We need to get some more people in here before I get started. Y'all, this may be the most important police accountability subject that we have ever encountered. Maybe this may be the biggest subject that we've ever breached in all of our lifetime. People in here, I mean, you know, we're not that old. None of us are over 100, right? So within our lifetime, as Trump would say, nothing like this has ever been seen by any of us before. He ain't fucking lying about this one. They have. People have seen something similar to this before, but uh, it started a war. Um, I don't. Let's not argue about if you can if you want. Y'all can argue all you want about if you support Trump, don't support Trump. I don't care. Y'all argue all you want. I'm not here for that right now. What I'm here for is to discuss this new order. Um, Apparently somebody knew about it, like Fox News knew about it about a month ago. So I've got a video queued up I want y'all to listen to. I'm just gonna have you listen from my phone.
For me, this is a really important one because I think the president is doing more than talking the talk. He's actually walking the walk. And this
Now remember, this is Fox, so this is the one mainstream channel that is all the way in the president's pocket, and will say anything that he wants them to say because, I mean, we've seen how all media is treated that don't say exactly what Trump wants them to say. Which, like I said, you can love Trump. I can love Trump, and I would still be able to say that. He is definitely in control of the media. He's a powerful man. You know what I'm saying? He's so powerful. He makes sure that everyone around him complies with his power. So if you're a Trump supporter, there you go. You're welcome. I just made your day, right? You probably just jizzed a little. That man's so powerful. He makes people do what he wants them to do. Thank God we have him for a president, right, Trump fans? Now, I know that I'm not being serious when I say that, but for you, you can take that dead seriously because in this subject that we're going to go over, which is a bill that was just signed in a hush hush. It was a hush hush bill. It was slipped in. Um, it changes everything. Can y'all hear me okay? Put a one in chat if everything's working right. I had to do a lot of work in the office today. Is the mic working good? I had troubles with the mic earlier. Yeah. Yeah, Donna, you definitely want to hear about this. 5x5. Thank you, Stephanie. So we're listening to the right wing agenda promoting news channel, Fox News. I want you to hear it from that aspect first. That way I don't lose my Trump fanatics, right? Because I need all of you to hear this. You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here if you didn't agree that this nation suffers already from law enforcement unaccountability and police misconduct. You would not be here if it weren't for that. And we are going to start developing more in this audience, in our audience of people. So I am very much welcome to people from political places. Like the people who think YouTube dies when it gets political is crazy. Right now, politics is the only thing that YouTube is pumping in the algorithm, which I don't care. I'm not doing politics right now. I'm doing the police accountability. That's what you're here for, right? Put a one in chat if that's what you're here for. When you watch for public safety, you're here for police and government accountability. One in chat, two in chat if you're here for different reasons. Three in chat if you're here just because, you like seeing Diesel every now and again. but let me know. Like, that's what you all watch these channels for, right? Like, for public safety. You watch them because you believe in government accountability. Am I right? That's what I thought. All right, so let's listen to the news channel that is designated themselves to doing nothing but making sure that they push whatever Trump wants them to push. That it's fair. I believe in free press. That's not what I mean, they're free to do that. So this is just here. Listen.
Circumstance, he's trying to not only rid the country of some very dangerous people, he's trying to again create an environment whereby Americans can say we can all agree that the bad guys have to go.
Kevin, you're right. And look, President Trump did not mince words. The American people hired him to do his job, and that's exactly what he did. Look at his army of people that have come around. You have the FBI director, DOJ, CPD, law enforcement, all coming together and executing for the American people. And today, in less than 100 days, we have 357 members of Tren de Aragua that are being deported. We have individuals like MS-13 gang member that was caught right outside Washington, D.C. And then my hometown in Ohio, we have a sheriff in Butler County that actually caught 2 individuals red-handed that entered his jail with fraudulent documents. These people cannot waltz into the jails in Ohio and think that they can be contractors as illegal immigrants. President Trump has promised that he was going to deliver, and he's ensured that he's taking the shackles off that Biden put on so many of our law enforcement today, and we're going to be safer because of him. So I applaud this reporter for finally getting the...
You need me to rewind that? They scared you with a bunch of dumb propaganda. Are you scared of somebody going to the jail and working as a contractor that's not supposed to be there? Because they just pump fear into you the way they put that. I don't care. I don't care about that. The point is that before that they said, well, there's MS-13s here. Okay. There are gangs here in America. That is true. And it does need to be handled. All the gangs in America need to be handled. Yes, of course you've got to stop crimes where there's victims. We agree. We agree, political people who are mad at me for talking about your hero. I don't care. This ain't about your hero. It's about law enforcement and overreach of the government. You see this thumbnail, what it says? Those aren't my words. I didn't make it up. It is the new order. The new executive order. The new order. I just caught that. No pun intended. They put a little scare into you, and then they said, hold on, Trump's going to do what he promised now.
This is something to celebrate.
You know, for me, this is a real...
do his job, and that's exactly what he did. Look at his army of people that have come around. You have
army of
the
people,
FBI director, DOJ,
FBI,
CPD,
DOJ,
law enforcement, all coming together
people
to
and today, execute for the American people. To execute what?
Days, we have 357 members of Tren de Aragua that are being deported. We have individuals
like
MS-13 gang member that was caught right outside Washington, D.C. And then my hometown in Ohio, we have a sheriff in Butler County that actually caught 2 individuals red-handed that entered his jail with fraudulent documents.
Yeah, Modern Retro executing
into the jails.
It gets way. Keep watching. We're building this room right now.
Immigrants. President Trump has promised that he was going to deliver, and he's ensured that he's taking the shackles off that Biden put on so many of our law enforcement today.
There it was. Trump is taking the shackles off of the police officers that Biden put on them. Hold on. Because the last 4 years was Biden, right? If we're talking Trump, Biden, when we're actually talking about 4 years and another 4 years, and now, like if we're relating time to a man's fucking name, then wouldn't the last 4 years have been Biden? Am I right? So let me ask you this. For the last 4 years, do you all really feel like there's been sufficient police accountability? Has our United States government, has the government of the United States in every little area, in every city, have they actually been fucking doing things to bad cops? Have they stopped the problems in law enforcement? Have they even tipped that iceberg? Hell no, says Claudia. Or Claudette, I'm sorry. Hell no. They haven't even chipped a fucking piece of the iceberg off worthy of putting in your drinking glass over the past 4 years. Oh, I'm sorry, as they want to put it, under Biden. They've barely done shit. We still have so much problems with misconduct in government, in law enforcement. And now Trump's going to take the shackles off that he claims was put on them by the last administration. It gets worse. Keep watching. We're only up to 43 in here. We really need to be in the thousands for this. And not very many channels are covering this right now. It's blowing my fucking mind. It's probably because they snuck this bill in. They snuck it in. It ain't got shit to do with Trump. It ain't got shit to do with Biden. This ain't shit to do with politics. If you're in here because you're political, great. I invite political people to come in and talk. But that ain't what this is about. You need to watch this because it absolutely affects you. This affects every single American. You know why? I'm going to share my screen with you. What does that say? Strengthening and unleashing America's law enforcement. Joe says Trump is restoring law and order. Okay, Joe. For who? Are you scared, bud? Have you been done wrong by criminals, Joe? You can come up here and ask me. We can talk about it. What happened to you, Joe? I'm not picking on you. Generally, I enjoy the conversation. What happened to you, Joe? How crazy is this country, buddy, with crime? Joe's answer says Americans? Are you Mexican, Joe? Because Americans have been definitely coming after Mexicans, man. So if that's the case, but you support Trump, right? You support him because you're saying that he's restoring law and order. Well, I would beg to differ because my experience has been all the crimes that have been committed against me and Tiffany and my family have been by law enforcement, by corrupt government officials. They are by far the worst criminals in the United States of America. Put a one in chat if you agree with me, or if you know I'm telling the truth. And I have had a lot of crime committed against me. They have all been at the hand or at the order of a government official. Every fucking crime that's been committed against me and Tiffany. Every one of them. And it's been a lot of crimes committed against us. Everything from people threatening to kill us to coming to our court dates, holding their hands on their firearms when they tell us to leave court, that we're not allowed to go to court, to people breaking windows in our house, and more. People traveling across the country to stand in my yard in the middle of the night, 3 a.m. in the morning, after threatening to end our lives. Perpetual victim. Joe, I suggest you're a victim. You come in here crying victim. You need Trump to save you, Joe. Save me, says the Trump fanatic. From what? From what? I asked you what crimes were committed against you, and you didn't answer. You said Americans. That's not the answer. What crimes were committed against you? Matter of fact, all of chat. Let's talk about it. Have you had crimes committed against you? Put a one in chat if over the past, say, 5 years, you've had a crime committed against you. I'll wait. I'm eating my couple of pieces of pizza while you guys are going through that. There's a couple already. There, let me get in on that. this is probably nowhere near the number of crimes that have been committed against me over the past 5 years. Maybe I should do it again. That's probably about how many crimes. I had a murderer come to my door and go to our kids' court hearing. Fucking murderer who was brought by a government official. Fact. So I would suggest that one of the most important things that our president could do in this endeavor would be to work on the criminals that are working as law enforcement. Wouldn't you all agree? Or government officials? Like probably more consent decrees, FBI investigations, DOJ investigations for civil rights violations, police misconduct. Would you all agree that we need more of that too in this order? Like, tell me you're hoping that you're going to see that in this order. One in chat if you hope you see that in this order. In this executive order that was slipped in and signed by the president on the 25th, 2 days ago. Put a 1 in chat if you hope that in there it says there's going to be more accountability placed on law enforcement, that we're going to probably increase the number of consent decrees. Federal government is going to babysit them a little bit better. You know what a consent decree is, y'all? It's where the DOJ comes in and says, you all committed misconduct, something like that, and we're here to train you better, to teach you all how to operate and function in a way where you're not violating people's rights. And it's like a contract that they got to kind of get babysat for a while. That's what a consent decree is. So consent decree is good. All right. Here, I got to open up a new page here. Hang on a second. Not sure if that's sharing on my. Let me open this up on YouTube. Hang on. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss this. All right. So it's not showing the page that I'm looking at. Okay. Let me open this right quick. All right, here we go. Let's talk a little bit about consent decrees. Oh, I got to downsize this for a second. Sorry. Bear with me. I'm still new to the StreamYard shit. Let me present this page. Oh, I've got to remove that one, I think. No, how do I do this? Yeah, there we go. Okay. I guess I got to stop screen there. I see Flo in the chat. You should help me out, buddy. Okay. This time we got to share the audio. Where'd that be? There it is. Okay. I'm going to make sure it's working right. Yeah, I got it. All right. Let's watch this together.
Signed a record 142 executive orders in his first 100 days in office. Yesterday, tucked in at the bottom of the third section on an order about strengthening law enforcement, is a directive to review and potentially terminate what is known as consent decrees. Our Scott McFarland joins us now to explain this. Scott, remind us again what a consent decree is.
Yeah, so often, John, consent decrees are issued against police departments under review by the feds for possible misconduct or bad policies or racial discrimination. There have been any number of them in the past few years. The Trump administration is shifting its civil rights division away from overseeing police departments. That is a seismic shift for an office that was opened during the civil rights movement, during the mid-20th century. Instead, the new mission statement of the Civil Rights Office of the Department of Justice, as reviewed by CBS News, includes language that it's going to focus on transgender athletes. on university protests. Just a different world, John, from what it's done traditionally, which is combat housing discrimination, racial discrimination, and police misconduct through consent decrees.
Police misconduct.
Also, we've had cuts at the Department of Justice. Tell us what the effect has been on that department.
It impacts communities nationwide. CBS News has learned more than 360 federal grants have been frozen that help groups that help crime victims, from human trafficking victims, sex abuse victims, elder victims, rural crime victims. They've been halted because the department says they no longer effectuate the priorities of the agency, which wants to put funding towards more direct programs to impact and help support victims. One of the groups that was targeted for a funding cut is the National Center for Victims of Crime, which runs a national crime victims hotline. Take a listen to the operator of that organization, Renee Williams. You think this sends a message to crime victims too?
I think it does send a message to crime victims. The administration and Mr. Trump's campaign promises were that he was going to put crime victims first. And I believe that if these cuts are allowed to stay, that proves that that promise was not necessarily true.
All right. Look, here's the deal. So cut crime, good. Cut crime, that's good. We got no problem with that. But what about the consent decrees? What about the police misconduct? What about the criminals that are already government? What about that? Because here's what they're saying. They're taking away. They're taking all that budget away. Now, I don't know if you follow like what's happening in your country. I know that people like Joe that was in here earlier, he obviously doesn't follow shit. He just wears red hats and flies flags and screams, yeah, y'all. Right? Fuck them Mexicans, shit like that. But here's what I'm saying. As a person who's run business for 25 years, so they've been cutting money off all the like humanitarian type things, you know, the liberal and democratic kind of stuff, whatever. Well, here's what I'm saying. Money. They've been cutting money out of anything and everything they can. They've been cutting the shit out of it. Doge claims that they raked out $160 billion in savings from all that stuff. Now, it's getting invested back into America, right? Which is what they're saying they're doing. They're doing what they're saying. So, you know, Trump fans, cool. He's doing what he's saying he's doing. You just need to listen closely if you care about anything, because here's what they're doing. So they got $160 billion. And one of the very first out of three things that they're doing with that money is the one I care about the most, which is the one that directly affects all of us in a way that it's never been seen before in our lifetime. Not by us, maybe by our great grandpas and grandmas. Which is he is investing it into policing. Okay. Don't believe me. Believe the order that I'm going to read with you. You don't need to believe me. You need to believe the actual executive order. So let's go over it together. I think I've drug you all along long enough to make it where it is what it is. This is what we're going to be doing. We're going to read this screen together. All right, so here's Donald Trump's order from the other night. It was slipped in. It is titled, well, first it says President Trump delivers investing in America, investing in America, investing in America, because they claim that they have cut $160 billion out of other things, and they're investing that back into America. Well, here's one of your main three first investments: strengthening and unleashing America's law enforcement. They say to pursue criminals and protect innocent citizens. Okay. By the authority vested in me as president, by the Constitution and laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered that Section 1, the purpose and policy, safe communities rely on the backbone of heroism of a tough and well-equipped police force. My administration is steadfastly committed to empowering state and local enforcement to firmly police dangerous criminal behavior and protect the innocent citizens like Joe. When local leaders demonize law enforcement, demon law enforcement officers, you're demons, and impose legal and political handcuffs that make aggressive law enforcing of the law impossible. When people demonize law enforcement, you mean when they point out their fucking misconduct? And put handcuffs on them. We want handcuffs on them literally, not politically. We want crime. Look, did it say that this shit is supposed to pursue criminals? So why are you starting out by backing the fucking criminals? Impose legal and political handcuffs that make aggressively enforcing. Put a one in chat if you think the cops are already fucking aggressive. Jesus Christ, they fucking shoot people over IDs. They're aggressive enough, one in chat. They're aggressive enough. As it was under Biden, they're very aggressive, but not aggressive enough for fucking Trump. He thinks they're being demonized when people call him out. And then he thinks that putting political handcuffs on them with consent decrees and investigations is not fair because they can't be aggressive enough. Crime thrives and innocent citizens and small business owners suffer. I would agree that people suffer from criminals, but the cops are criminals too. My administration will therefore establish best practices at the state. Hold on, he's federal. You gonna catch on to this, y'all? You start catching on to this. Listen, I'm going to add the words that are missing. Federal administration will therefore establish best practices at the state and local level for cities to unleash high impact local police forces. Unfucking leash them on a state, local, and city level. To protect and defend law enforcement officers wrongly accused. My administration will therefore establish best practices at the state and local level for cities to unleash high impact local police forces, protect and defend law enforcement officers. He says wrongly accused because he's saying we lie about it. And abused by the state or local officials. What he's saying is the people that we have fucking caught in misconduct. He is going to use the federal resources to step in with the feds, the people we used to depend on to help us in these situations. Now those people are exactly what y'all were worried about them being before. Now they are. In 90 days, they will be. Because he is using them to step in and defend law enforcement officers that he claims were wrongly accused and abused by state and local officials when they were charged. And surge resources to the officer in need. My administration will work to ensure that law enforcement officers across America focus on ending crime and not pursuing harmful, illegal, race and sex-based equity policies. What the fuck? How about if your administration would be hard on crime? Wouldn't that be the right fucking thing? Be hard on criminals, including government employee criminals. How about you work to ensure that? So that we can focus on ending crime. And then he just threw in this not pursuing harmful, illegal, race and sex-based equity policy. What the fuck? Anyway, the result will be, this is what he thinks the result's going to be of this. The result will be a law-abiding society in which tenacious law enforcement officers protect the innocent, violations of law are not tolerated. And American communities are they can safely enjoyed. And American communities are safely enjoyed by all their citizens again. Trump fans, were you not fucking enjoying your life? Did you feel unsafe? Because Mexicans? What? What's so important that you want to fucking protect bad cops and give them more money and get them out of trouble? And it gets worse. Because Section 2 says legal defense of law enforcement officers. Now, listen, guys, my lawyer, who I really adore as a lawyer, and I'm so grateful to have him, that's his job, is to defend cops that have been charged and shit. That's his fucking job. So I'm not like against it. This benefits my lawyer, probably benefits me in my personal case, but it don't help you. It don't help none of you unless you're cops that commit crime, that commit misconduct. It'll help you then. If you're a government official watching this, you're smiling and kick back in your chair going, yeah, the reason Chris is so upset is because that fucks everything up that he's worked for. You right. But we ain't going to sit down quietly. We're going to pay attention to what the fuck our government is doing. I don't care if it's my favorite person on the planet. I'm going to stand up against this shit. Because Section 2, legal defense of law enforcement officers. This is what Trump is saying in this bill. The Attorney General shall, that means they have to, the Attorney General shall take all appropriate action to create a mechanism to provide legal resources. Now, mind you guys, these people already had qualified immunity. They already had legal resources. You were paying for it. You were paying for their lawyers. But now the feds are stepping up and they're telling the Attorney General, you will. The one you elected, they're looking at the person you elected and they're saying, no, you're going to do this. You're going to take appropriate action to create a mechanism to provide legal resources and indemnification to law enforcement officers, because you're going to say unjustly incur expenses and liabilities for actions that they took during the performance of their official duties to enforce the law. This mechanism shall, means it has to, include the use of private sector pro bono assistance for such law enforcement officers. Y'all, this is qualified immunity times 10. This is police state. I'm not done yet. Your tax money is going to make it where you can never get one of these cops that commit misconduct or crime charged. Not only will they have qualified immunity, but they will also be backed by the federal government and use your tax money for all available resources and fucking attorneys out of the private sector, which means you can't find an attorney because they will have a conflict of interest after the government buys them all up. I'm going to say step 3, empowering state and local law enforcement. Empowering state and local law enforcement because they didn't have enough power already. The Attorney General and other appropriate heads of executive departments and agencies shall, means they have to, take all appropriate action to maximize the use of federal resources for these things. This is what he did with the fucking money from Doge. Provide new best practices to state and local law enforcement to aggressively police communities against all crimes. That was shall. You shall take that money that I claim to save the Americans. That's what the man is saying. You shall, Attorney General, you will take the money that I claim to save the American people, and you will put it into, add it to the budget and pay more money to make sure that law enforcement gets more aggressive and gets all crimes, and expand access and improve the quality. Wait a minute, not all crimes. Not all crimes, because when we get to the next section, you'll see why it's not all crimes. But he's saying all crimes. It ain't going to be all crimes. You'll see why here in just a minute. Provide new best practices to state and local law enforcement to aggressively police communities against all crimes. The feds are saying take all the money you need and you will get more aggressive. Your police are going to be more aggressive. They weren't aggressive enough. And expand access to improve the quality of training available to state and local law enforcement. Guys, you tell me. Every time cops do training, every single time we hear of cops doing, they shoot somebody, they always say in council, well, we're going to do more training. What do they train for? You guys tell me, what do they always train for? When you say cops here, do more training, what do they always train for? I need your responses. I need you all to be with me on this. I want to make sure you're paying attention. What do they always train for? Yeah. They train to be more militant. They train officer safety, says Claudette. It's a good answer. No, it's not. Well, they think that them being more tactical, they always train in tactical. They always become more tactical. They always take tactical training because they think if they are more aggressive and more tactical in every situation, and I mean every situation, including not showing fucking ID, that's safer for them somehow. But for this, now they're going to be able to say, and we're following federal orders. So we're going to get more tactical. That's what they're about to do. They're about to get, and you don't believe me? Keep reading with me. Increase pay and benefits for all law enforcement officers. Really? Fuck. Maybe we all ought to go be one at this point. Strengthen and expand legal protections. Strengthen and expand legal protections for law enforcement officers. Legal protections. Give them more protection for when they commit crimes. You've heard of qualified immunity? You're getting more with your money. I hope that people who support all this shit that Trump is doing just because they're fascinated with Trump, hope you're fucking ready for this, motherfuckers. I hope y'all are ready for what you're doing here. I know you don't mean to cause this shit, but you're doing it because you just can't. Your ego and Democrats shouldn't have fucking teased you because now we're all divided and oh my God, look at what they slipped in on us. Because one thing we're all in here agreeing on is that police misconduct is bad and cops commit crimes. We all know this here. So increase the investment. Oh, wait, promote. Yeah, so seek enhanced sentences for crimes against law enforcement officers. Wait a minute. That sounded good. Wait. Oh, read it again. Seek enhanced sentences for crimes against law enforcement officers. What the fuck? They want to put you in jail longer when a cop falsely accuses you of something. So first, we're going to strengthen and expand their legal protection because qualified immunity, which is almost fucking impossible, wasn't enough. And then we're going to seek enhanced sentences for the crimes that you're alleged of if the victim is a cop. And then promote investment in the security and capacity of prisons. So we're going to beef up our prisons. That way we can get everybody that a cop makes an allegation against that has a higher sentence the place to stay longer. We need more capacity for this. We're going to need more capacity for this. Increase the investment in collection, distribution, and uniformly of crime data across jurisdictions. Okay. All right. Put more money into collecting, distributing, and uniforming crime data. Okay. Cool. within 60 days of the date of this order, the Attorney General will review all ongoing federal consent decrees, out-of-court agreements, and post-judgment orders to which a state or local law enforcement agency is a party, and they will modify, rescind, or move to conclude such measures that unduly impede them from being able to be aggressive fucking law enforcement officers. In other words, if you have a case open in which cops have been punished for misconduct, you're going to get that shit over with and get it the fuck out of the way, because right now we need more aggressive pigs. And we need more room in the jails, because anybody that a cop accuses of a crime against them is going to get an enhanced sentence and is going to need a place to stay for a while. Section 4. Using national security assets for law and order. National security assets for law and order. Within 90 days of the date of this order, the Attorney General and Secretary of Defense, in consultation with the Secretary of Homeland Security and the heads of agencies as appropriate, they will increase the provision of excess military and national security assets in local jurisdictions to assist the state and local law enforcement. Do you understand this? That is called a police state. What they're saying is that the military is going to be doing policing. That's what it says. What are military trained for? Do people that join the military, the excess people at that, the excess military people, do they fucking know law, man? Are they going to know what to do when you argue with them over your fucking ID or your video camera? When you're in public? When a military person steps up with their fucking rifle and shit and says, you know, hey, I'm here doing law enforcement because Trump sent me, or whatever y'all want to say, and you say, I haven't committed any crime, sir. I don't feel like I should, have to do it. You say, what the fuck are they trained to do? You know what they're trained to do. They're trained to fucking kill you. They eat on command, they sleep on command, they shit on command, they march on command, and they shoot on command. And that's why they have federal immunity, so that they can commit murder and be immune from any prosecution for it. So federal immunity is now being given to the states by way of our law enforcement is going to be conducted and supervised by the motherfucking federal military. We are militarizing against our own people. Why? Within 90 days of this order, the Secretary of Defense, in coordination with the Attorney General, will determine how military and national security assets, training, non-lethal capabilities, and personnel can most effectively be utilized to prevent crime. Cool. That one I agree. I like that one. I like that we're spending some money to see what's the best ways that we can train. And I love that non-lethal's in there, but I guarantee you what they mean is what you see at the fucking what some people call riots, I call protests. I know they're all First Amendment, but you see when they want to clear out a First Amendment activity, they come in with sandbags, gas, full riot gear, right? I think that's what they mean when they say non-lethal. I'm scared of that. Anyway, they're going to train more on that shit. Like, if you fucking step out of line, man, these guys are going to be fucking trained effectively. Section 5, holding state. Here it is. Oh, thank God. Maybe I didn't read this earlier. See, Trump fans, I just didn't read it. It says Section 5, holding state and local officials accountable. Okay, all right, I missed it completely. The Attorney General will pursue all necessary legal remedies and enforcement measures to enforce the rights of Americans impacted by crime and will prioritize prosecution of any applicable violations of federal criminal law with respect to state and local jurisdictions whose officials, here's just rules. I thought they were saying they were going to hold all officials accountable. Wait a minute, we only got 2 sections here. So out of all officials, it can only boil down to they have to be fitting this criteria right here. Motherfucker. Of course I read this already. You all see what they're doing here? They're narrowing it down. They're tailoring it so tight that only these 2 types of things apply for anybody being held accountable. Willfully and unlawfully direct the obstruction of criminal law, including by directly and unlawfully prohibiting law enforcement officers from carrying out duties. No more good cop. So if a cop stands between a civilian and a cop, guess what this means? It means you're charged with prison time, officer. Whoo. And here's B. So 1 is if they get in the fucking way. So if a government official gets in the way of this new my brain don't want to pronounce the word. This new militia. If a government employee steps in the fucking way of this new militia, they are fucking going to prison for obstruction. It says it right here. That's one of the rules. That's how we're going to hold them accountable. Or B, unlawfully engage in discrimination or civil rights violations under the guise of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Initiatives that restrict law enforcement activity or endanger citizens. Wait, what the fuck? Would y'all have had a hard time putting that sentence? That's not a sentence. Unlawfully engage in discrimination. That's a sentence. Or civil rights violation. That's a sentence. What do you mean under the guise of diversity, equity, and inclusion? That doesn't make sense. Does that make sense? Initiatives that restrict law enforcement activity. What the fuck? Are they saying that if cops are okay with protesting, that if it restricts law enforcement activity or endangers the other, so when the haters of whatever the protest is come in and say, I feel like I'm in danger, then the second rule for being held accountable for the police is that you're going to be put in prison. If you restrict law enforcement activity, like you mean if we block a street because there's so many of us at a fucking square going to an event, that's law enforcement activity. If a government official engages in that, now I mean if the sentence was more clear, then maybe there'd be argument there. Maybe there's argument there because it's not a clear sentence. Very arguable, but that's the way I'm seeing it. Tell me in comments if you see it a different way. Section 6, use of Homeland Security task forces. This is against us, the public. This ain't about over in another country. This ain't about war. This is about us. They're creating more task forces now from Homeland Security on a federal level. The Attorney General the Attorney General and the Secretary of Homeland Security will utilize the Homeland Security task forces formed in accordance with the Executive Order 14159 of January 20th, 2025, protecting the American people against invasion, to coordinate and advance the objectives of this order. All right. So January 20th, 2025, an order was created to protect us against foreign fucking invasion, war. So they're going to create this off the back of that executive order. Our government is going to war with us. Section 7, generation provisions. Nothing in this order shall be construed to impair or otherwise affect the authority granted by law to an executive department or agency or the head thereof. Better not impair an executive department. Don't you dare. The functions of the director of the Office of Management and Budget relating to budgetary, administrative, or legislative proposals. This order shall be implemented consistent with applicable law. Well, that's good, but who's going to fucking enforce applicable law? And subject to the availability of appropriations. Are you available? Are you available right now? Just had crime committed against you. Oh, you don't have the appropriations right now? Okay, you're fucked. Get fucked, right? Fuck you, peons. We're against you. We're at war against you. We built this whole task force team. We built this whole entire law enforcement agency with military because we felt like you were as bad as the people that were going to invade our fucking country. But war. No, we ain't got appropriations or availability to apply law for you. This order is not intended to and does not create any right or benefit, substantive or procedural, enforceable at law or in equity by any party against the United States, its departments, agencies, or entities, its officers, employees, or agents, or any other person. The Department of Justice will provide funding for this order's publication in the Federal Register. Signed, your president. Slipped in. They slipped it in. All right, I haven't been watching chat. I want to discuss this with you all. Put a one in chat if you think that our government just basically declared war on us in a way, like saying you will comply or else. I mean, you're going to have to comply. It's military coming in against us to get more aggressive because they're saying they need to be more protected, more armed, more trained, more funded, and because you are going to be treated as if you were a foreign invasion. I am not making this up. It ain't got shit to do with my fucking hatred for this fucking piece of shit. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that I am fully aware that the majority of crimes that are committed against the people are not by other people as much as they are from government employees in my world. And that is equally as important as stopping criminals that are not related to the government. And guess what? Half you motherfuckers that are like going, oh, well, you know, these drug addicts and shit that are on the streets, man, the judges keep letting them out. Those are the problem. Well, guess what? They're working for the government. That's why they're out early. It's called snitching. Those are government. That's because of the government. The government is causing this all. And now they're getting more power with your money because you wanted them to save money with Doge, right? If you're Democrat, you're going, no, Chris, I fucking hated what they were doing with Doge. You know, it's crazy. They brought the richest man in the world to come in and fucking get in our privacy and shit. But if you're Republican, you're going, yeah, man, they were fucking saving money, bro. You know what I'm saying? So now both of you are fucked. Now both of you are fucked because what they do with their money, they pumped it into fucking pushing you down with more aggressive law enforcement and protections for themselves. And they are fucking ready to use it as if you are an enemy of the state and a foreign invader. Country. Foreign invasion. They're basing this whole thing off of what they practiced for a foreign fucking invasion on us, we the people. All that money That $160 billion, one of the first 3 things that he did with it was this. We're fucked. I don't know. I don't care who you like for president. I don't care if you agree with all the other policies, even though clearly there's a group that's right and a group that's been incorrect about everything that dude said. Clearly, the Democrats have been right about what they said about the guy. I fucking voted for that motherfucker the first time around. Because I like my guns. I don't like a government that steps on it, and Hillary was going to step on it. So, yeah, I'm a fucking idiot. Because at that time, I believed you had to pick one of the 2 devils. And I thought, well, what about the fucking TV guy? What about that one? He says he's going to make America good and shit, right? So I fell for it. So guess what? I ain't mad at you. At this point, though, I'm going to call you fucking stupid. He keeps lying, stealing your money, and using it against you, man. And then people that watch these channels, that you say you're here for police accountability, for government accountability, you call it politics. When one of the biggest fucking bills that has ever caused the complete demolition of any type of police accountability network, he fucking did it. That dude's a genius. He accomplished his mission. He just did exactly what he said he was going to do. He fucking told you he was going to do this. He said he would like to end the Constitution. He wanted to stop the Constitution. He did. With this bill. Call it politics all you fucking want. But it ain't going to change the fact is that bill just got put in. And in that bill, qualified immunity ain't shit. Police misconduct on the level that we've been witnessing our whole lives, that ain't shit in comparison to what we're about to witness. We have never, as an American society, had the military, the untrained in law completely. We bitched about the cops not knowing the law. We ain't never had the fucking U.S. military doing law enforcement in your town and city. Is Canada bad too, Debbie? You got that shit going on? Trump said, take the guns first, go through due process second. And he was talking about red flags laws. This country is full of idiots, Toby. We're all idiots in a way, though, you know? It's just we can't fucking see the shit that's right in front of our face. Because even the idiot, like even idiots, right? Like, it's okay to call each other idiots because, you know, that's how we vent. But even the fucking dumbest of fucking idiots know when someone is lying. If they hold this piece of pizza up and say, this is the greatest apple that you've ever had in your entire life. This might be, in fact, the best apple that anyone's ever heard of. This apple is delicious. And a smart man told me that. It's not stupidity when you go, that is not a fucking apple. It's a fucking piece of pizza, Trump. Quit fucking lying, government. They're lying. Stupidity does not fucking defend you from accepting lies from your government on this level. We can't. No matter if we agree with their policies or disagree with their policies, we can't accept them blatantly lying and pretend it's not happening. That's beyond stupidity. You are choosing to end this nation with that shit. You are. If you are supporting this fucking bill, You are supporting ending your freedom. Ending your rights, ending your freedom, protecting cops from everything they do, paying for it out of your pocket. You didn't save any money from Doge. You saved nothing, Americans. It's being used against you. You know how far 160 billion goes in the government? There are 18,000 police agencies across the United States of America, approximately 18,000. That 160 billion, at least half of it will be used just on this bill. There were corporations that were invited to build infrastructure in America by this dude here, who donated 500 billion. IBM donated 500 billion. That ain't shit compared to the 160 billion that Doge fucking allegedly saved by cutting out humanitarian efforts. You can't argue with the fucking facts, people. So if you supported the policy of Doge going in and raking that fucking money off shit, saying that it was being spent inappropriately here and there, you got 160 fucking billion, according to that dude right there. Said you got 160 billion. But guess what? He just spent it on using the military against you as police and protecting the current police and giving them more money, more cars, more training, more tools, more weapons. So now you're still a Trump fan. Okay. Do you agree with that? Are you okay with that? Do you need police and military people to fucking walk you and hold you by your hand when you leave your house so that you don't feel scared of Mexicans or whatever you're scared of? I get it. Some of you live in big cities. I'm 5 minutes from Louisville, but I'll carry my white ass over there to the fucking highest numbered street that I can find, and I'll walk down that motherfucker. I will walk my white ass through the blackest fucking neighborhood in Louisville, and I will go from one end of the street to the other. And the cops ain't nowhere to be fucking found during all that. What the fuck are you fucking fans of this fucking buffoon afraid of? I am not that tough, but I can survive a walk down 42nd Street. You know why? Because those people aren't as fucking dangerous as you're being led to believe. They're more dangerous to each other because they're broke. They're not dangerous to you fucking Trump fans, man. Very rarely will you ever even encounter somebody from the streets. And if you do, your cops ain't going to help you. They won't be there. Only 0.2% have police on patrol. You meaning in those neighborhoods physically catch crime. They won't catch it when it happens to you. No matter how, if they're military, if they're fucking covered by federal immunity, if they got all the weapons in the world, if they got brand new fucking Corvettes, if they got tanks, they're still only going to catch 2%. 0.2% of the fucking crimes that happen. That's the statistics. You just can't be everywhere at one time. You're still in the same fucked boat if you're scared to death of leaving your fucking house. Freedom is scary. Deal with it. That's what civil rights lawyer says. Deal with it, you pussies. Because what you are offering, what you are supporting, is stealing all of our fucking freedom. This ain't political. This is personal. I want my freedom. You can't have it. I want justice. I will get it. When the government commits crimes against me, you buy all the fucking lawyers with everybody else's money you want. I will win. I'm an American. You're Americans. not all of you, but the people that are in here from other countries have been telling me, man, y'all are fucking up. If you're from another country and you're in here and you believe we're fucking up, put a 1 in chat. If you've been watching America fuck up, let us know that you've been watching America fuck up for a while now. I can talk all that shit I want about being American and winning and beating federal immunity in court and having enough money to go up against the government, the federal government now. Your money that they stole from you through what they called fucking saving your money from Doge. But guess what? I'm just talking fucking shit because I ain't but one dude. And I do not have resources like Elon fucking Musk. You know what I think is funny? Now that I'm seeing what the fuck they did with that money. Here's what's funny. I used to adore Elon because I thought he had a brilliant brain as an autistic fuck up. I wanted to be like supportive of the guy. Like he's a fucking autistic man who's so smart and not even approachable or a people person. Like you can't even finish a sentence. And I thought, wow, this guy's fucking cool, man. Because like a lot of people probably don't appreciate him, the brilliance of him. So I used to like Elon a lot. I even said Elon for president, joking around. But now that I know what the fucker was doing, I think this is hilarious what I'm about to tell you. According to Elon and Trump, their efforts by taking our money to spend it on what I'm talking about in this live stream, they say that they got between 150 and 160 billion dollars in savings. That's what they said. You know what I think is awesome? Now that I know what those fucktards were doing with our money, Elon lost 130 billion for supporting him. Good, motherfucker. I used to like you, Elon. Good. You should have just gave your money to us instead of fucktard. I don't care who's president. I care about what they do when they're president. And what just happened on the 25th? It's not good. And this is your warning. Because I'm one of the earliest people to put out a video about it. Trump just literally did a whole fucking long press release conference with a bunch of people over this and invited them to the Oval Office. I watched it right before. That's why I was late coming in here, because I thought, oh, he's going to talk about it. Well, guess what? I watched the whole fucking hour. He didn't. It was about the money that they're spending, that they saved through Doge. And not once did they mention this. Matter of fact, there's this teeny tiny little clip where he said, and law enforcement. And that's it. Like I thought I was going to have a clip to show you. Maybe some understanding. Maybe we could learn a little bit from him, the guy who's implementing it with your money. But maybe he can give us some understanding of what the fuck is he thinking. Meanwhile, I owe 10 more thousand fucking dollars. I just got 2 more fucking charges for doing nothing but sitting in my living room asking where somebody is that's been missing from fucking YouTube. I say somebody's missing from YouTube. I get 2 more fucking frivolous charges. I need 10,000 more fucking dollars for an attorney on the current. Before this motherfucker stepped up and beefed everything up to protect those people. Dude has been sending murderers to my motherfucking house. Got snitches all over the fucking place getting involved, trying to fuck up my court hearings. People fucking threatening to kill us. All of them working for the government. Fact. The same government that this doofus just put further protections in on. Yep. We're fucked. And you heard it here early. I don't know if you heard it here first, but you heard it here early. Put it on the chat if you heard it here first about this bill. Did y'all hear it here first? Because it was done on the 25th. My mind is blown that it's not all over all these political channels. I've only found like 8 or 10 videos searching specifically for it. That's wild, isn't it? That's wild that this wasn't immediately all over YouTube. Why? Oh, well, maybe because they're fucking limiting free speech. Watch this video end up getting taken down. Because a lot of them I clicked on no longer exist. None of them on Twitter. X, Elon's company. Didn't find it at all there. Found a couple on Facebook, but they were mostly propaganda shit from Fox. That's what we listened to at the beginning of this. It's scary, y'all. It's not going well. But I love you. I'm not going to stop. I'll never stop doing what we do. We'll never stop, no matter how hard our government tries to make it on us. We are always going to demand that crimes not be committed against us, we the people, by our government. And I am so sorry to the police officers who used to want to help, because now they're threatening you too with physical arrests. It's a good thing that y'all saved that money with Doge to make the prison system bigger, because now they're going to start arresting all of us who get in between them and their fucking mission to treat you like you are a fucking invading fucking nation. Now you know why I ain't been editing no videos lately. Past couple days, I'm just like, what in the fuck? What in the fuck? I'm all about stopping crime. I support that completely. I support stopping crime. What in the fuck is making these people think that we don't need to stop all crime if we can? In other words, why would you protect the criminals that are government? It was already bad. It was horrible under Biden. It's horrible under Reagan. It's horrible under Bush and Bush too. It was horrible under all of them, man. I remember, and one of the reasons I knew so much about the Clark County cops, I heard them motherfuckers conspiring about how they were gonna fucking cheat the system to get into people's houses and take their shit because they didn't like them, and they did drugs and shit like that, you know? Like, cops ain't never been doing it right since I've been alive. That was when I was a kid. They have never been doing it right in my lifetime. But now it's going to get way worse. Those cops are protected. Those cops who had kids who are now cops, who act even worse than their parents did because they're trying to fulfill the legacy of their fucking door-kicking open daddy. Those motherfuckers now are getting full protections and assistance and more gear and more money and more authority and free lawyers. No, not free. And y'all are paying for their lawyer. Like, I'm done. I love y'all. And I will see you on the next one. And fuck this motherfucking liar. I'm going to enjoy my apple. It's the greatest apple I've ever had. This may, in fact, be the best apple that anyone has ever seen. This apple is delicious, and only smart people know that. Good night.